An airline tracks each of its airplane stops for the day. And so one particular airplane can travel to one of the following cities for each of its stops. It could stop in New York, then it could stop at one of these four options, and then the third stop could be back to New York or Chicago. And so they've mapped them out in a tree diagram. Start in New York, you go to Boston, Miami, Charlotte, or Dallas next. And then from those locations, you could go back to New York, to Chicago. But what a tree diagram does for you is you can follow one set of branches, and that's one potential option. Right? So one option is to go from New York to Boston to New York for this plane. Another option is New York to Boston, Chicago. Another option is New York to Miami to New York. So what is the probability that the airplane will not go to Charlotte? We need to count up all the number of times where they go to Charlotte and then divide it by the number of total options. So there's 8 total paths here, and we can figure that out by the last part of the tree. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 different paths of this tree. So that means we can put 8 in the denominator here. What is the probability the airplane will not go to Charlotte? It looks like there's 2 outcomes where we go to Charlotte. We go New York, Charlotte, New York. That's one outcome. New York, Charlotte, Chicago. That's another. That's the probability that we go to Charlotte. If you want the probability that you do not go to Charlotte, then you just want the complement. 2 out of 8. The complementary probability would be 6 out of 8. Okay. And I figured that out because I just took the number that would complete it, that would make it 100%. 6 plus 2 would make 8 out of 8. So this is the probability that we don't go to Charlotte. This is the probability that we do go to Charlotte. Okay. And another way of doing this one, instead of doing it this way, you could say, hey, probability is always the number you're interested in divided by the total. So how many airplane routes do not go to Charlotte? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 routes that don't involve Charlotte. And with a probability, you always divide by the total number of options, which is 8. And by the way, for Newton, you would just want to simplify this. 6 out of 8, that's 3 out of 4, right? So 3 out of 4 is the correct answer here.